Welcome back to the Pickswise NFL show. I'm Rachel Von Orania. That's my great co-host, Jeff Reinbold. And what we're doing today is this is kind of like just extra take real quick. We're going to do the Pickswise NFL show that's centered around sports betting, of course, as always. But we are joined by the lovely Sammie Coates, who was kind enough to be a guest on the Pickswise sports betting show, Pickswise NFL show, but he's also kind enough to just do a little side interview with me and Jeff, okay? You might know Sammie Coates from his years playing at Auburn University. You might know him from the famous Kick Six in the Iron Bowl. You might know him. He was drafted in the third round by the Pittsburgh Steelers, who are on fire right now. Sammie, what's up, man? How you doing?
What's up? I'm good. Just enjoying life, trying to figure out my next move.
Yeah, the XFL's starting up again, and that's how I met you. Any word there?
I talk here and there with them, but at this point, it's just a weight game for everything, especially with everything that's going on. So it's like, all right, what now?
Yeah, I feel you. I know exactly what you mean. Well, have you been keeping up with the NFL? How much football are you watching these days?
I love football. I watch football every weekend, every channel, like every Monday, every Thursday. I watch football. That's all I know.
Yeah. Do you ever place any bets, here and there?
I try not to do too much betting because I know how I am. I get caught up in that. It's gonna be a long year.
Hey, bro, you gotta listen to Rachel. She's killing it, man. I'm telling you, she is the queen of betting for NFL betting anyway. I don't know what she does on basketball or baseball, but she's killing it on football.
When I get to bed and I start getting too in depth with it, so I have to let me just back away from that.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, man. And he's being a little kind to me right now, saying I'm on fire. This past week, when it came to NFL betting, man, me and Jeff, we had a rough week this week. I mean, we have been doing really well all season long. It's all logged, it's on wax. So these are facts. We have done really, really well and made some people some money. But last week, man, I think Vegas made their money back. Jeff, would you agree?
Yeah, I think so. I would say that at least they did it on me. I don't know about you, but it was not a great weekend. Hey, let me ask you a question, Sammie. Something that's fascinated me, right? Because you came up through this thing. The Steelers seem to have an unbelievable knack of drafting receivers. Because you look at that organization's success and you start talking about, you go back to the Emmanuel Sanders, Antonio Brown, Chase Claypool now. It's unbelievable. Juju Smith-Schuster, the number of receivers that they have hit on in the draft. And the draft is not an exact science.
No, it's not. The Steelers do a good job just knowing players, what kind of players they are and what they're going to bring to the table, especially with a quarterback like Big Ben. He's a smart guy and he helped develop receivers. And that's like the key to most receivers that go there is that Big Ben plays a lot of part into that developing kids. And that's what he did with all the guys when we was there. We had Montavious Bryant, Marcus Wheat, Darius Hay-Bay. We had a solid group and, been around an intelligent quarterback like Ben that helps out and that makes you get comfortable and confidence as a receiver. So guys just started to come out of nowhere, So that's how it works there.
Sammie, in your opinion, talking about wide receivers, who is the best wide receiver this year? I mean, there's a lot of them. It's plentiful right now. The league is not missing wide receivers at all. There's some stellar guys out there. But who do you think, in your opinion, is the best?
Green Bay got the best receiver in the world right now.
And he will tell you that too.
And he is confident. His game right now is at the highest, and I don't think nobody's competing with him. It's consistent. It ain't like a week he's here, then a week he's averaging 140 some yards a game. At least a touchdown a game about. So this guy's playing his best football. I think he's the best receiver in the league right now.
Sammie, when you look at these guys that are coming into the game now, right, and the number of guys who can make an immediate impact in the National Football League, and when you make that step, and you had to do it, when all of a sudden, and even though you played in the SEC, now all of a sudden you're seeing more press coverage, you're seeing more, intricate coverages and all kinds of things that you got to change and read. And how are these young kids able to step into the league and make, DK Metcalf is just another guy at Ole Miss, and then he comes in and he tears the NFL up.
The NFL, you get more time to develop a player than in college. In college you have to worry about school, you got to worry about this, that, and all the other. And in the NFL is you just a receiver. You're not a student athlete no more. You're not focused on other stuff around you. You ain't got so many distractions. You walk in the building at 8:00, you don't leave at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the evening. So you got time to develop a guy, study the film, break down what he need to work on. So it's more just the time development is key to most players that come in. You can have so many receivers come in as undeveloped as a receiver. They get there, they got more time to spend on it. They got money to pay somebody to help them. So this is about just all around just what you have to become better now than back in like when I was in college. Just everything's now you got all these images, these videos of your body running around. So it's so much now it can develop you faster than when I came out.
It's not like you were playing that long ago. You make it sound like it was the dinosaur ages, Sammie. It's like 2013, 2014.
What's crazy? I was just thinking about it. I've been out of college 6 years. That is a long time, So, and I was like, when I looked, I was like, holy crap. I graduated in 2014. It's 2020, So it's been that long. And it seemed like it's not, but it is. And it's crazy when I look back at some of the stuff I didn't have and I go out and train now, what they have now. It's a big difference.
Yeah, for sure.
Talk to me, Sammie, about like one of the things that I've always believed in. I've been coaching pro football since 1991. And what I see so many times is a guy gets a label on him. And once you get a label on you, and it could be anything. It could be a character thing. It could be a hustle thing. It could be an injury thing. It could be a learning thing. It could be, but it's damn near impossible to get that label off of you once it's stuck on you. Have you faced any of that kind of stuff in your career?
Oh, yeah. 1,000%. Been a guy from Auburn University, a receiver coming out of Auburn, which was, when I was there, was a run pass. It was run first and pass second. I was not developed. So when I got to the league, I had a lot of catching up to do. Then as I was doing the catch up, I was getting injuries. So I got labeled as injury prone. And the one year I had a really good year with the Steelers, I think it was my second year. That offseason, a lot of people don't know that offseason I had 3 surgeries. Some 3 surgeries kind of put a big hole on my career because I never recovered from it because I never gave myself time to come back. Most guys I'm eager to play. I want to play. Instead of, if I would have been smart enough to say after that offseason of 3 surgeries and I broke my hand at year 2, I would have been like, you know what, let me sit out of the year and come back to who I am. But I never done that. You think as the league goes, somebody's going to replace you. That's how you think. That's how the league works. So if you get that injury prone, it's going to follow you wherever team you go. And that's how that would most likely happen to me, I feel like. And mentally too, that was a big part.
Damn it, I didn't even know all that. That's crazy, Sammie. You've been through some stuff. Another guy that I know that you might be a little familiar with, who's also been through some stuff, has made his return, and he's over there in Tampa Bay, Antonio Brown. Do you have any thoughts on that, or do you think that he's a guy who's got a stigma, right? And the impressions that he's made on people, the fans, the media, it'll be really hard to get rid of that. Do you think that Antonio Brown finds success again in the NFL? And can he ever change the narrative that surrounds him?
It don't matter what you do. People going to have their opinion about you, And I've been around that guy. He's a great man. He's a great person. He's a phenomenal football player. I don't like him not being successful in the league is a slim to none. He's going to be great no matter what. It's just the fact that how do people accept him? And I think more like it when it comes to players like Antonio, people got to actually know him to know him. Media can twist stuff around and make stuff look 10 times worse, which I don't know his whole, like everything once I left, what's going on or what happened. But all I know is that for a guy like that, you actually have to sit down and get to know that guy before you judge him. That's how I feel about him.
Yeah, and something else that I agree with you 1,000,000% just from what I've seen from him. I don't think he seems like a bad guy, but it also means a lot. I think that like Tom Brady, he's living with Tom Brady. Like Tom Brady has taken this man into his home to live with his family, his wife, his kids. Like he can't be that bad of a person, you know what I mean? But you're right, the media does like to just rip into him for sure. Now, a guy that has a really good reputation, Sammie, is Coach Mike Tomlin. Okay, that dude's definitely first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think anybody's ever going to debate his talent for coaching, his leadership. Sammie, you know him. What makes him so special?
He's a straight shooter. As a player, you want a coach to be straightforward with you about everything, especially in a business like the NFL. I think Coach Tomlin do a great job being straight up with you about what's going on, where he's staying with what, like the whole team is. In the NFL, a lot of people don't tell you everything that you need to know. They don't be honest with you. It's kind of, all right, this week they tell you this, then Sunday come, they telling you this. Like, I'm going to tell you on Monday, and when he tell you Monday, he mean that for the rest of the week. It's no change up. It's no nothing with Coach Tomlin. He's 100% straight up with you with everything he's doing.
All right, Sammie. So speaking of first ballot Hall of Famers and leaders, Big Ben, right? Ben Roethlisberger, tough as nails, guy that everybody says is really hard to bring down. He'll gut a defense. Sammie, what's been like? What was your experience with him? Not necessarily like on the field, because we see that, they mic up players now. We see everything on the field basically. But what was he like off the field, like in the locker room and stuff?
Ben is a different guy. He's a guy that you have to build trust with for and be able to, like really get you on the same page as him. He loved the trust side of the game. And I think that's one of his biggest thing with his receivers, that you have to build trust with Ben before he can actually start making you that guy you want to be. That's the kind of person he is. Like when we're not on the field in the locker room, you got to build that trust for him to trust you, for him to throw you the ball and stuff like that. So that's one thing I can say about him. But other than that, man, Ben's a competitor. He loves to win. He's smart. He can read a defense like no other quarterback I've been with. He can change the play, the line of scrimmage faster than you can rotate, and that's what makes him stand out from most quarterbacks.
Let me ask you to dovetail off that question, because that's a great question Rachel asked you. He's been in COVID protocol all week, right? He hasn't been able. He can go to the facility and get treatment on that knee, but he can't be in meetings, can't be at practice, can't be around his teammates. And so now he might be able to play on Sunday. Can he go through a whole week without picking up a football and go out there and light it up on Sunday?
Yeah, I've seen him do it. Yeah, definitely can. He's that type of guy. He's smart. He'll probably break down film and see what he got to do, but he's one of those guys that once that ball in his hand, he's going to play football.
All right, let's talk a little Steelers now. Cincinnati this week, and Rachel has this gigantic crush on Joe Burrow. I'm going to tell you that straight up right now. She can't get enough Joe Burrow. But
Joey covers. Joey covers.
That could be a trap game. Because
Cincinnati's playing really good football right now, and they had a big win last week, and that was huge. But you got to think about like this, Joe Burrow is a smart kid, but he still has a lot to learn. Just me being an NFL player and playing in that league, But the Steelers are fundamental, and he ain't going to just be able to let talent win. You got to go out there and outsmart the Steelers. That's how they keep beating people. They outsmart you. They play to your level that you can't play to. And that's what they've been known for. That's when I was there. We played to the level we know that team can't go to. And for him to beat the Steelers, he really going to have to study them and find out what their little knack is. He can get a winning edge over.
Yeah, I call him Joey Covers because I'm not in love with Joe Burrow. Okay, let's get this right, Jeff. Not in love with him. He looks like Macaulay Culkin, honestly, if we're being honest.
I didn't say romantic love. I said you're in love with the results.
Oh, okay. I'm just clearing the record.
You're about that money. I know. It's all good.
It's all about that money. And he has done me well with our underdog picks, which you'll see later on whenever we get to the main part of the show. But yeah, Joey Covers. That's his new name. Now, before we wrap this all up, I want to ask you one more question, Sammie. Take me back to the infamous Kick Six. Scored a touchdown with a few minutes to tie the game, I believe, 28-28, if my memory serves me correct. You correct me if I'm wrong. But, take me back to that moment, the emotion. What is it like? I mean, I can only imagine the fans in the crowd, which we don't get to see this year because of COVID. But, what was that like?
First of all, it's Auburn. We're playing in Auburn. It's the biggest rivalry in college football, I think. Right before the game, we pull up on the bus. It is crazy packed. You got like probably over 100,000 RVs on campus, and every part of it, you got it's packed. It's nowhere for somebody to turn and walk away. You got to sit there for 30 minutes for you to get somewhere. We get in the stadium, and you can feel that this is about to be one of the biggest games in the world. Like, as soon as you walk into the stadium's already packed before the game. Like, we doing pre-warm. The game, like, no stadium is ever packed during pre-warm. So you just, as a player, like, this is about to be crazy. The game get going. It's a clutch time. It's game time. It come down to, I think it's like 3rd and like 8. Nick throw me the ball off a scramble. To be honest, we practiced play all year, and it finally worked in the last game of the season. So Nick act like he's running, then look up, I'm wide open. Everybody bid on the run. He threw it to me. So the game's tied up. I just tied the game up. So the crowd's going nuts, man. Like, all right, defense go back on. They start driving. I'm like, oh crap, oh man. So he threw this ball. He got to like the 47, somewhere like that. Went out of bounds. So he didn't make it out of bounds. So Nick had to call a timeout to stop the game from going to overtime. I never forget it. When he did that, they said, when our coach said, hey, Chris, get back there, because I don't think this kid got a leg to kick it this far. Everybody like, nah, that's smart. In our head, we just thinking he finna miss it going to overtime, whatever. He kicked the ball. All I see is Chris Davis finna catch. I said, he ain't finna catch that. He's about to go out of bounds. He catch it. I said, that's touchdown. Because they had no skill players on the field at all. As Chris run up the sideline, crowd is going. It's the loudest I've ever heard a stadium in my life. I'm talking about the crowd is going. When he scored, as soon as he went in the end zone, every fan in the stadium rushed the field. They didn't even give it time for him to get a touchdown call or nothing. It was insane. I had people kissing me. I'm like, what the heck is going on? It's like crazy. Like, in my football career, I never experienced anything like that. That amazing. After the game, when we left the stadium, the crowd still in the streets. The bars are packed like lines from. It's like it was ridiculous. It was probably the best experience of my life.
Now imagine having to play the Iron Bowl with no fans in the stands. Sammie, would you even do it? I mean, I guess you got to do it, but can you imagine that?
It'll be weird, I'll tell you that. It won't be an exciting game. It's gonna be like a nonchalant game because that game is known for the fan base, like how loud it be, who got the fans. It's a competition. Everything about that game is competition. Who got the better food at tailgates? Who can drink? It's all a competition. And when you can't have fans in that game, it's gonna be kind of,
Yeah, for sure. It's so big. They have documentaries on it. I've seen it like 2 or 3 times. War Eagle on ESPN. But all right, well, thank you so much for doing this little side segment with us. Now we're about to go get into the Pickswise NFL show and make some people some money this weekend on the NFL games. Sammie, thank you so much for this.
Thank y'all.